We're planting carrots again today. As you know, Stephanie planted a very basic all-purpose carrot called Nantes. And it's from France. And you saw the double row we were weeding the other night over there. Now the one that we're planting here is a very sturdy French carrot. It's kind of yellowish and it tends to be thick. It's not good for fresh eating, but it has a wonderful flavor, rich and strong, for baking and for use in soups. Last fall we had put away a lot of carrots and included some of these jaune du Doubs carrots, and Stephanie set aside 3 of the best, and when spring came, she was over there replanting them and hoping that they would produce a seed stalk over the summer so that we would have our very own fresh jaune du Doubs carrot seed. This is one of Stephanie's favorite tools, very effective for planting a large amount of scarlet Nantes, which she did plant in Garden 2. There are 4 hoppers and a series of holes, and you can select which of the 4 you are going to operate. You can use all 4, which she did, and had, so there were 2 sets of little hoppers open. And so as you roll along the ground, it goes like this. It spins this little tube that releases periodically a seed, just right, and it falls out of the bottom, and that's how it's done. But in this case, I'm only going to do, well, we don't have a whole lot of seed, and actually this is a carrot that we don't use as much as we use the scarlet Nantes. We don't have a whole lot of this, maybe a quarter of a packet, but that's all right. We're going to use it all, and we're counting on the jaune du Doubs seed stalks coming up over there, which you just saw, to supply us with fresh seed for next year. So this is the row we have chosen. It was tilled this morning by Stephanie, and I went down with a hoe just to mark a more or less straight line. And what we are going to use is this lovely little dispenser, which has 4 different size holes. We're going to use next to the smallest. And what you can do, well, I'm going to show you. We're going to fill this container, dispenser, okay, that's in case too many fall out. I want to have some left for the rest of the row. So now we're ready, and I can just go along and tap 1 at a time, 2 at a time, however best I can get this to operate. And we will drop them. According to this direction, it says sow the seed 1/2 inch deep, 1/2 inch apart in a rich bed. They must be talking about the Garden of Eden, which we're not guaranteed, but we're going to do our best. So, here we go. Very hard to control this. I find it amusing. I'm crouching. Okay. The seeds are so tiny. I don't even know what to compare them to. Bigger than a grain of pepper, I suppose, but really small. So, I don't want them all bunched together, but I want to have enough. Well, this is working pretty well. They're not all coming out at once, and it's pretty good control. I don't know about the 1/2 inch part, but I'm sprinkling these, and I have a lot left. Wow. I'm almost at the end of the row, not at the end of the seed though. It's not going to grow through a rock. Okay, there we go. Well, what a surprise. It shouldn't be, I suppose, but the seeds are so small that I didn't even use half of what I had put in here, thinking I might run out and still had more here, but I've used it all, and pretty generously. So, I'm packing this away. Maybe I'll put it in the freezer to make sure in an emergency I could use it next year. So now, for covering the seed. Now remember, the directions said 1/2 inch deep. Well, that's hard to do. It's easy to overcover with a big tool, and Barbara Damrosch gave in her book, The Garden Primer, gave the idea, just scoop up some in your hand and break up the clogs and sprinkle it over the top.
Okay.
Well, I'm sprinkling and hoping that they're getting just the right amount of coverage. We're expecting some rain tomorrow, which would be perfect to get these seeds on their way to germinating. So I've done that much. I'm going to work my way back in this direction. The other good thing is, while I'm sprinkling and crushing lumps of mud, I can also filter out big stones that would certainly be in the way of germination. So this is how we'll do it. It's not so bad. No rocks. I have a last comment, if I may. As I'm making my way down, I'm looking in the trough, which is clearly seen, but in the meantime, I don't recognize the seeds that I put in. They're hard to spot. So you just sort of have faith. Yeah, they're in there. I sprinkled them in. I saw them go in. So that's it. I might recognize a few little seeds here. One of the things that someone came up with for people who were discouraged by the problem of recognizing the seed and where you just planted them and need to cover them, and that is using something, they produce something called pelleted seed, which means that the seeds have been coated with a white, chalky, harmless substance. But you can see them because they are like little white peas in the ground. The only problem with them is they don't last very long. So I'm going to stick with the old-fashioned way. So we have completed our row. I know the seeds are in there. I know they're covered. And now we will have rain tomorrow. I could give them a little sprinkling today, but sometimes the danger in that is you're watering and the watering is a little too violent and you disturb the placement of the seed. and then you never know where they'll land. But that completes our job for today. So thank you for joining us. And I hope it encourages you to try planting carrots, because as you can see, it's really not that bad.